Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Chris Ketch. I'm the founder of Wanderlust Utopia. Today, we're going to take a moment to interview Anne Schreppers. She's part of a retreat that we are co-hosting, although she's the leader. I'm going to be helping her from behind the scenes. Retreat that I'm very excited about coming up in December. We're going to just ask her a few questions to see what she has in mind as far as how the retreat is going to go and what she thinks about the current situation of humanity right now. For most of us, this is a very interesting and trying times, and having someone as incredible as Anne to be able to guide us through what's going on right now is very important. So without further ado, this is Anne Schreppers.
Thank you so much, Chris. So yeah, indeed, we're gonna host an amazing retreat where actually nobody is going to be the leader. Like, of course, we're hosting it, so there needs to be 2 physical people present, but it's mostly going to be about you removing the blockages to be your own leader, to be your own guide, because we're so used to be guided or to pay so much attention and credibility to other people's opinions and what they think about us, of our lives. But we actually have an inner compass, and that's the whole idea. We have this inner wisdom source, and we should not compare. It's like, if you're a monkey, then you should learn to climb. You should not swim, and we should really find for ourselves, like, what makes me in my life? Like, what works for me? What is the right way for me? Because I am different than other people and I need a different approach. So this is a different approach to retreat. Instead of a teacher telling you what to do, we're just going to create a space where you are inducing freedom within yourself to remove blockages, limitations on physical, mental, and emotional level, to discover a new you, one that was already there, but like buried under some layers of judgment and fear and all those things that we're going to try to remove. So yeah, let's get started. Thank you, Chris, for being here and for inviting me physically. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, everybody.
Yeah, excellent. Okay. So speaking about that, talking about removing the blockages and bringing people into an understanding of what they already are, what is it that inspired you to start working on the realm of elevating human consciousness or improving one's spirituality?
Feeling very miserable and being very confronted with, I always felt like, what am I doing here and what's going on here? And I see that feeling also in many other people. I was always just trying to do everything what society told me. I was really perfect with everything, but I was feeling very big gap inside. Like, I just felt some kind of emptiness. And I've always, since I was small, just really felt connected to nature and like animals, and like an inner drive to like help or support. And yeah, the biggest change for me was actually when I went a few years ago, like nearly a decade ago, went on a solo trip. And there I just suddenly discovered, like, whoa, I'm having so many thoughts about who I am and what I'm supposed to do that are just not true. I had this sudden like understanding of what kind of stuff is in my head, and that I'm actually able to turn it around. So it's not like implanted there. I've just been feeding it automatically, but I could also change it. And I'm a body worker all my life. So I've been dancing all my life, and I felt a sense of presence and happiness in movement. Then I discovered yoga, and now it's just basically understanding that it's not about dance or yoga, but it is about removing the physical memory in our body that is held on to blocked emotions, and about removing that is actually returning to a natural state where you can reinvent yourself, because you've been taught to be in a way that you're approved with, firstly, your parents and society as a whole. But when you remove that and you create this freedom inside, you have basically this whole space to create an inner framework that works for you to flow more easily through life. So that was a bit my journey. And I've been working with many people, and I see that just works like, whoa, why am I like, why are you speaking to yourself like that on a day-to-day basis? Like, you're not worthy, you cannot do it. Like, whose voice is that even? And let's put another voice there. Let's put like the biggest motivational speaker we know. Let's put that person inside of our head and start to direct our ego and this little vulnerable self in that direction. So it's a lot about direction, creating direction. Yeah.
I think that's a very important point that you make. Who is this person talking to me? Who are these thoughts in my head? Because I think it was Andrew Nietzsche, the philosopher, who said, "I think, therefore I am." And in in the big picture, I think that has led humanity astray as far as modern psychology is concerned, and as far as the way that we interpret our thoughts, because we aren't our thoughts. We are the observer of our thoughts. And all you have to do is take a moment to step back and think about the fact that you are thinking, to realize that the thoughts are not who you are. And once people can bridge that gap and can see that these thoughts that come into their mind are not who they are, and but rather a byproduct of their upbringing, part of their conditioning, you know, the voice of their mother and their father in the past, all of these things, it's very freeing for us. You know, the yogi says, I am, and Nietzsche said, I think, therefore I am. And being able to understand the difference is going to be what's an important thing for humanity moving forward, because we're all capable of the most beautiful thoughts, but we're also capable of the most horrendous and ugly thoughts. And understanding the difference between our thoughts and who we are is paramount for humanity moving forward, as far as I'm concerned. Now, so as far as working on someone's consciousness, or working in the realm of spirituality, why do you feel now this is such an important service of work, considering the time that we are in?
I feel it's like there's like a saturation on the material field, right? So we have more security and safety than we had ever yet. There are so many like discomforts we are experiencing on a physical, mental, emotional level, like and people are like looking for different solutions. So it seems that the whole consumer society and that idea of buying things to feel better, it's not a long lasting road to happiness, and people are looking for a deeper sense of contentment. And I've personally been to a journey of like removing everything out of my life, like everything, and learn to be comfortable with the person I am myself. To learn to be comfortable with the person you are yourself, like being on your own, being in a silent space, being on your own, feeling comfortable. And then you know that whatever changes in your life, whatever happens, because we have been conditioned in this idea of trying to control the outer circumstances so that we feel content about it, because we are living from that ego. So that ego is like, when things are this, it's good. When things are that, it's bad. Rather than spirit journey, or this more like awareness journey that's like, why are things this way, and what's with it? What can I do about it? So to play your life a little bit more and to find this kind of like alternative ways. And of course, like, so when we look at it on an individual, like a personal level of people, we see so many, like, yeah, what I said, like a physical, emotional, like, I don't like to use the word issues, but yeah, there are some discomforts. There's a series, this is an understatement. Like when we look at the general numbers of, you know, of diseases that are related to what we eat, to what we consume, to overconsumption, and that overconsumption being linked to a general sense of emptiness inside. So we need to consume more, and that has a lot to do with not feeling. We have been learning this like coping behaviors to grab to something when we don't want to feel and when we're suppressing. But when you free all that need to grab anything or anything falls, and it's more about, I want to remove everything that I don't need. So when we're going to do that, of course, it's going to have giant benefits. And my work's a lot about that, about on our planet, because how can we thrive how can we be healthy in a sick environment? So then when we look at our environment, also there's big issues, you know, straightforward, like clean water, clean earth, clean, like the old elements, all of it, it's like contaminated, and our own minds and bodies are contaminated. So we need this cleansing process. But instead of getting overwhelmed with everything that's like bad, like just having a simple acceptance and merely bringing ownership and awareness to what we can do, and to know that at the end of the day, it's your final judgment. You are the person you're living with and dealing with. So if you do it, you firstly do it for yourself, and it will impact the world. But to firstly do it for yourself, so the person seeing this, like, do it for yourself. Know that you owe it to yourself, that you are the person. At the end of the day, when your ego will fall, and the veil of your ego will fall, and you will look back at your life and the opportunities you had, and mostly the opportunities you missed. Think about that one day you had a regret and you were like, oh, I wish I did that. At the final day of your life, do you want your life to be this big show of regret, or do you now choose to be like, no, from this moment on, I'm going to own my life, and I'm not going to let the fear of failure that is solely linked to the judgment of others stop me from actually just taking decisions that are in alignment with what I feel like I need to do to grow, just as everything in nature does. So that was a long answer, but just basically, the people need it, the planet needs it, and you can choose to show up for yourself so that it will benefit the whole system. ecosystem. Yeah.
Excellent. You mentioned how you had gotten rid of lots of your possessions and learned how to live without the need of the constant validation or the constant excitement of a purchase or an acquisition. I went through a very similar stage in my life too, where I basically got rid of everything, sold all my possessions, gave away the rest of my little things, and now everything that I own, aside from the project, I can fit in a backpack. And there's something to be said about that. What did you gain from the process of detaching yourself from the material realm, and why do you think this is an important lesson for other people moving forward?
I have this like very spiritual insight coming in, but it's like what one of my teachers always said is like, you know, you have to be able to drive the car without being afraid you're gonna not have the car. And that's the whole idea. Like we have those things, but it usually comes with a price, and that price being the fear of losing them. So if we attach our whole idea of self-worth on the things we possess, imagine the fear that comes there. While when we don't, like imagine when you're always a person, this is not judgmental, I'm saying, it's just giving an example, so don't feel attacked. And if you do, just look at yourself. It's not me, just my example triggers you. So if you are all the time the people paying for everybody, so you're going in a restaurant and you're paying all the time for everybody, you're putting on yourself that charge, like I need to be that provider, and people want to be me with that. And then when you don't do it, maybe some of the people won't even come because you are all the time the giver, and you're. So if you don't have those things, of course, don't mean that you have to be like greedy or something, but if you're not that person, and you know at least that all the people that come to you, they come to be with you. They don't come for anything you have. The people don't come to your house because you have a nice house and a pool or something. People that come to your life, they genuinely want to be with you. The people that connect with you, they genuinely want to connect with you. There's no like there's nothing they need from you. So your connections, for me, it becomes a little bit purer, and your ability to understand what attachments does to us. I think attachment is a big one there. So you have something, but you're not simply enjoying it, you're afraid to lose it, which all comes back to our general fear, which is our fear of, this is going a little bit deep, but it's our fear of that, of the endless nature of our physical body as well. But instead of staying in that fear, I have found that creating drive in my life, so that no regrets when I will go, like just being able to look at myself at the end of every day and be like, this is the person I want to show up like, and be constantly constructing the most important house I'll be building. It's like my own construction of my persona, of my being. That then the fear of that, I feel it's almost like equal, like the more you live not true to yourself, the more the fear of the ending will come. While the more you get out of it, what is your personal fulfillment, what you really want to do and create your own life, then you will be in a sense of peace and acceptance of like, I'm living my life every day the way I feel like I want to do it. And yeah, that's just like a little shift. And you know, there's no right or wrong into it, but one moment that you awaken and realize that you're doing so many things and possessing and trying to strive for so many things because of others than yourself, then it's a big realization, and it can really transform a lot, I guess. And then being able to remove the things that are not essential and to keep it with the essential thing will bring you eventually peace in yourself and with your relationships. That's at least what I felt. And to discriminate essential from the non-essential in your life. So what do I really need? Because of course it comes with a price, everything. So the more possessions you need and the higher your standard of living and what you think you need in order to strive, you need to make more money, you need to work harder. So time is basically energy, money, it's all related. So it's just a question about what you need and what's your priority. So maybe I cook more of my meals and I'm very conscious about what I consume, but I have more time to cook. So these are just little things in your life, but to know that everything's a choice basically. And removing the non-essential is a big step there, removing what's not yours. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because we often look at these people who've accomplished so much in their life and who have so much, you know, we idolize as a society billionaires, to me, which is crazy. But if you think of someone who's naturally content and someone who feels whole on the inside, this person is not going to be the one that's going to put themselves out there and make these sacrifices and work 18 hours a day and compete in this very competitive business world to make these incredible accomplishments if they aren't feeling a sense of lack to a degree, you know? It's only the person who feels like they're missing something that's going to make the sacrifices to acquire more. And you used a word, non-attachment, which is a great term, and I think there's a lot of misconception about it. It's something that I've spent a lot of time in the last probably 4 years since I gave up all my possessions, and really trying to understand on a deeper level. And I had to practice a lot of it when my mom passed away last year, which was a great lesson for me. And I had a lot of peace in the whole process. And in general, I feel very much like I'm not overly attached to anything at all in this period of time in my life. Although I've just had a new child, I have this 18-month-old daughter, and I think of the whole concept of non-attachment, and it's very difficult for me right now to try to picture a life where something happened to her and to struggle with the idea of her not being there. Everybody else in my life I'm okay with. Not that I'm saying I want them to die, of course, but life is a cycle, right? There's a process of birth and death, and it's all natural and it's all part of it. But having her in my life has really made me go a little bit deeper with this whole process of understanding non-attachment. Maybe you can explain to anybody who's listening right now what your thoughts are as far as non-attachment is concerned, and how people can practice non-attachment in their life without feeling a sense of apathy or feeling like they don't care about stuff. I think there's this conception within the mainstream consciousness that if you're not attached to something, you don't care about it. But essentially, if you really practice non-attachment at a deeper level, you're able to love people more than if you were to be attached to them. So maybe you can go a little bit more in depth on that.
So yeah, there's a difference definitely between attachment and apathy. It's really beautiful what you were saying, by the way. And I think many people relate, even that they are super conscious and super aware and they don't struggle within themselves. But once they get children, that it's really like,
It's a game
I so
changer.
much, and it's a very different feeling. It's not about being, I feel the biggest meaning to it. It's just understanding when your ego is thinking it needs something. So when it's really from a different motivation, I think the motivation of the attachment is really important. So for example, wanting to be people to be in a certain way for you to be content. So if those people are this way and they say that and they do that, then it's okay, again, to that good bad label. So detachment is just a sense of appreciation to the reality as it is. So of course that is a difficult part in life, and it's so challenging, and we should find time to grieve. Like in ancient times and in older times, we found time to grieve. It was not like 2 days and then you get 1 day off in your work and the next day you go, and oh, it's okay if you talk about it 2 days, but after 1 week we should start to like move on. No, maybe you are grieving 2 years about something. It doesn't mean that you're crying all the time, you're depressed, but it does mean that you have an intense loss about somebody or something in your life, and that with moments you feel that intensely, and that's beautiful, because feeling our emotions is beautiful. And if that moment you feel that, it also means that you have felt such an intense connection with another being, that you would never feel so sad if you wouldn't have that kind of connection in your life. So it's always about seeing that everything has two sides, so that if we feel so sad about somebody leaving, that we were also so happy to have encountered them. So it's more about even a fuller experience about the people and experiences in our life, but removing the picture of what they need to be. So to see them for who they are, instead of our idea, like when you're like this, you're good, and when you're like that, you're bad. And we can bring even that wholeness and detachment to ourselves, and to try to be the best that we can, to try to do our best, but to all the time the self-loathing and criticism, also there we can have a major detachment. We can let go of that and simply experience sadness without having to understand what it is. Just feel it, cry if you need to cry, and feel those emotions. Don't harm other people with them, but find a healthy way to let it move through you, because that's at least my belief and my experience myself. I felt that I've been having more connection to all forms of being by allowing also my emotions to flow, because my experience has been that the more I hold on to my emotions and create no space, that I get more in my head and into thoughts and analyzing, and it's like when you get like overwhelmed in your head and you're just thinking and like getting really like agitated and triggered, while when you just feel your emotions flow, you're way more at peace and at ease. So I don't know if that linked clearly to the attachment thing, but the idea would be to remove the ideas on what reality and what people have to be, and to simply own your part. Like, what can I do in this life, and what is out of your control, to deal with it with as much grace as you can. So that doesn't mean you have to always deal with things in a positive way or anything. It's just like, you just do the best you can. You show up to things for yourself, and you just drop the ideas of rejection, everything from others, because it's only yourself. It's only yourself. Yeah, you come and go with yourself.
Yeah, very good. Okay, well, let's use that to lead into a question about our retreat now. Why don't you take a moment and just tell us a little bit more about the retreat and what somebody who attends it can expect to get from it? What is the takeaway for someone coming to this retreat, and how is it going to benefit them in their life moving forward?
Yeah, I feel what differentiates our retreat as well as much is that what I said in the beginning already. So we focus a lot on the facilitators aspect. So rather than being teachers and telling you, we are supporting you so that you can find what works for you. So we can give examples like this or that, but then it's about experience itself. So because it's a longer retreat, it's 12 days, and we do really focus on cleansing. So the retreat's name is Upgrade, but in order to upgrade, it's very helpful if you can, if you're going to upgrade your computer or upgrade your house, you're first going to strip it, right? So you're first going to remove the things, and then you start putting new things. You're not going to start to put new things when all that old shit is there. So you're first going to take a moment to be like what's here? So we start with the physical body, and then we move in the more subtle parts. So we start really with the physical body and practice these ideas of non-judgment and observing. And basically, it's just this retreat where you get to know you while simultaneously shaping the new you, so that you feel really clean and really clear. So these are two concepts, like clean and clear, so that when you come back into your world, you see new possibility, because whatever is happening in your world, you are only able to see it from the perception of what you are now. So if you are upgrading yourself, you will start to see different possibilities. So because we offer a daily workshop and we offer body work, so you are going to remove things, and then we work on deeper levels. So we work with the powerful tool of silence, we work with the powerful tool of fasting, which you can contact Chris about, and we will guide you through that in a very professional way. Our food's going to be so clean, the environment so stimulating, because it's a natural environment, so it connects us with our own inner natural peace and environment, which we forget obviously in this really weird concrete jungle we're all part of. But when we be in the nature, we can really discover a new part of ourselves. And yeah, it's just about that. So communication to self, and just relationship with yourself, clear all the old and construct something new, and to really give you specific tools. So whether you have experience with whatever you have, because the retreat is about you, you will meet yourself at the level where you are. So whatever information is handed to you, you will take away from it what is for you. So instead of, again, fixated on the result, which we always do, you cannot walk away from the retreat and everything is like solved and everything's good, because never everything is good. Your approach will just be different, so you can learn and connect with life in a different way, and you can just be open to what it has to bring with you. But it is like a big gift to carve out a time in your life to just get to know who you are, because your relationship with yourself is reflected in all the relationships and all the actions you do. So it's an invitation for full ownership and full connection to yourself and the role you can play and the role you are playing already, but from an automatic role where a lot is conditioned and out of your control, to understanding what is actually within my power to shape, and to, because we have a lot of silence and we have time for reflection, and you get customized journaling questions, the wisdom that will be shared and received will be coming from you and your connection with that part of you that is able to receive. Because obviously, whatever you see now in me or Chris speaking, all of that is within you, but just in a different form. So we are just like kind of helping you to strip, or supporting you to strip your house, but whatever you're putting in there will come from your own inner guidance, like that part of you that you will maybe not been so in touch with, but because you are in a really free environment, an open environment, you will have the possibility to connect with that part, and that whatever is constructed is yours. So you're not doing it like we are striving for success, but we are striving for success according to society. So you're all the time trying to construct something and it's not yours. So you're constructing it for your mom or for your dad or for, I don't know, whoever once said that you are not worthy and you should be an astronaut or whatever to be successful. No. So whatever you will be doing and whatever comes from it will be very personal. But that's what I love so much about retreat. And of course, Nicaragua and Ometepe is beautiful, and the food and the accommodation and everything will be so conducive for your growth. And then the fact that you are guided, but you're not pushed in a direction. So you're guided and there's a lot of space for you to define your own direction and to be like, okay, this feels right for me, this doesn't. This is important for me now, and to really awaken that inner leadership rather than, it's very easy to go to a retreat and to feel good there, to go to a week, oh, forget about everything and just, but it's actually, then you are escaping. And this is, or my work is a lot about integrating. So while you are there and when you go back to your life, you're like, oh, I really feel motivated and have ideas to make these changes in my life that will benefit me, so that every day can feel more and more and more like a holiday. Every day can feel more and more fulfilled for me. And I'm free to choose what fulfillment means to me. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's an answer to the question.
So I guess the biggest thing that people should take from this is, aside from the typical format of most educational retreats or products or services, where there's a teacher providing you with information that you're supposed to assimilate and remember and try to apply, the idea behind this retreat concept is more so that we're going to clear pathways for you to be able to receive your own divine intelligence, your own divine wisdom, and to be able to open up the centers within your body and within your consciousness so that you can receive the downloads that are specific and unique to you. This isn't about teaching you how to do anything in particular, but rather allowing you the space to be able to access your own wisdom.
Yes.
Okay.
And I can imagine when you're talking about download that some people are like, what? So with whatever concepts work for you, but it is indeed that you have this like inherent intelligence system, and our body is like just basically slowed down energy. So we are matter, but that's in physics also, it's slowed down energy. So we are energetic beings, and there's so much to discover within ourselves. So we're basically providing you with a roadmap. So we will always give you some, like we will give you some we give you some tools, so we give you some information, but that information to be practicalized and to be for you to practice it. So not for you to just copy and to know it, but to really feel it and what it is for you to embody it. I think that's going to be really important. And of course, if you clear out the body and you clear out the mind and you give yourself space physically and inside, so outside and inside space is the breeding ground for change. So yeah, we will provide you space.
Okay, great. Okay, so, and now just to wrap things up, because we're getting a little bit long on time here and starting to actually turn into a massive storm where I am right now. Why don't you give anybody who's listening one piece of advice on what they can do now and in the future to be able to elevate their level of consciousness, or to be able to expand their level of spirituality, or go a little bit deeper on the spiritual plane?
I think what you were saying in the beginning is already great. Like, I am not my thoughts. So I would say compassion and humor are the two most important. So connect with yourself to that part of in you, your personality that is like able to make jokes about things and not take things too seriously. And that part of you that can be like with love and look at things with love. So whatever in this world makes you feel like your heart is a little bit warmer and you feel a little bit like you want to help something, or you want to help somebody, that feeling. And you want to mostly like being able to laugh a lot, because when dealing with your ego, which is going to be the biggest block towards your elevating of consciousness, because your ego, it's like that personality and it's so strong. So you want to be able to approach that, I would say, with humor and compassion. So to look at your thoughts and be like, oh, funny that I'm thinking that, but this is not true. Because once we start to like, I hear a lot of times in this world, like, we need to destroy the ego or fight it and everything, but then we are still pouring a lot of our precious energy into what we don't want. So you want to kind of be able to see, oh, interesting, this is not what I want anymore, but what do I want? So you're going to use every trigger that comes up in your life every time you are like upset or angry with a person, to look at yourself and to be like, okay, how do I want to react to this? And to just understand that you are the creator. So of course, doing every morning a few deep conscious breaths, and to understand, like, I am whatever your name is, I am, and my life is filled with choice. So to honor that, and then to start looking at your ego, with humor and compassion, and to see opportunities to shift it in the direction you want to see. So you're like, for example, you look in the mirror and you think I'm fat or whatever. I don't know. You look at yourself like, I'm not capable or whatever. You start to understand that you can shape your perception about what you think, the way you should look or the way you should be, to understand that there's choice, and you start to shift it in the direction you want to see. So how do I want to speak to myself? What can I do to make it different? So if you're not happy about your body, know that you can choose what you eat. You can choose where you put your energy, the same way that with everything, like, body is just the most tangible one that I feel many people can relate with, because there's so much going on. But just to be like, you know what? I don't want to look at that body image anymore. I don't want to be skinny. You know what I want? I want to nourish my body with healthy food. So to just create some intentions for yourself, and some new intentions that align with what is right for you, rather than just whatever society copies. Like, you're not going to be happy if you're pumped up, or you're not going to be happy if you're very skinny or a model, when you don't have the right mindset to go with it. So if you have for yourself these intentions of like, it's important for me to nourish my body. I want to nourish my body. It's my temple. I want to, what is success for me? Just, we can go deeper into this in the retreat. But for now, I would say humor, compassion, and understand that you are not your thoughts, and direct it. So if you want to take something away, put something in the place. So put something different where you remove something. How do I want to react to this situation? And to start and create that future highest self you want to see in your life, you want to be in your life, you start to create that today. And there's no excuse to that. And every time you regret how you were acting and everything, don't stay in that regret. Let it be an opportunity to see how you want to do it. So
because life really is just a whole bunch of a big sequence of small choices, essentially, that we make. And when we start talking about consciousness, and everything at the end of the day is consciousness, you have the choice the way you're going to perceive just about everything. You have the choice to perceive anything in your life the way that you choose to. And you made a good point about how you can sit there and focus on your body and the things that you don't like about it, or you can choose to focus instead on nourishing your body and taking care of your body. And just the simple act of doing that, although your body itself is not going to change, the image of it's not going to change in a day or a week, your entire essence and your being and the way that you feel is going to change, because you're going to go from a negative mindset of self-limiting beliefs, calling yourself fat and ugly and whatever else, to a very positive one where you're looking at your actions as being nourishing and healing and healthy to your body. And just that act in itself, just that simple choice right there, can move mountains for a person who's stuck in a rut and who's feeling down and out, because choosing positivity and choosing a path that is growth in nature is always an uplifting feeling, compared to choosing a negative emotion, which is very low vibration and very limiting in its essence, and in turn causes all kinds of dynamics within your psychology and within your awareness that are upsetting to you. Hi, honey.
It's really good. We'll go for sure deeper into this, because what I said before, it's like, we cannot start to like judge ourselves then for having the judgment, but to really like grow your motivation. Like, why do I want to do this? And every day remind yourself, like, where you're going and why you're going, and understanding that you are a free being that can choose whatever measures of success you live up by. So if you think all your life, like, I need to look this way and I need to be this way in order to be happy, maybe that's totally not. Maybe you have a totally different framework. So if you decide for yourself, I'm going to be happy and fulfilled when I choose to show up the best version of myself. And you know what? I don't even care about the way I look, because I'm never going to see myself unless I look in the mirror and stare at my pictures. I'm not supposed to look at myself, even like I see myself through the eyes of others. So in our society, we're so focused on the way we look. But actually, when we start to become more aware of the energies of other people, and we see them the way they are, and we want to spend time with them for the way they are, and we really see beyond that physical veil, then we can also change for ourselves. That will change our whole perception, and we will not be so focused indeed on lack and on our physical body itself, and just see that we will vibrate once we align within ourselves with a different truth. And that's a day-to-day operation, but eventually your whole body will transform with it. Everything will transform, like your body, your mind, your emotional system, everything's connected. So it's a step-by-step process, but it's so good to have like a direction where you're going, instead of like pondering around in the same like waters and the same things that are not working for you. Just understand like, oh, I've been like not moving and being here stuck all the time, but you know what, actually I can just step out and go somewhere else and start at least walking in a different direction, and then every day feels more fulfilled, because you know that whatever you're creating is yours. But you need to dive through some shit there. You need to see like, oh my god, this is how I'm thinking. And really important to not get fully caught up in your frustration there of like, what society been doing to me, what my parents been doing to me, and just understand like, no, full ownership. I've been the person allowing this, so I'm the person to free myself and let everybody do whatever they're doing. Let me just choose for myself, and then all of that frustration will also drop, and it will become fuel for transformation. Okay, this
Excellent.
is not what I want to do it.
Okay, well, fantastic. Thank you very much, Anne, for your time. I'm very excited to co-host this retreat with you coming up in December. Why don't you tell people the dates and let everyone know how they can get in touch with you if they want to learn more about the retreat?
Yes, so I'll put my email here, and I put some images. So it's just through my email address. I'll put it here. And the dates are, of course, from the 21st of December till the 2nd of January. So it's actually a holiday retreat. And instead of like eating and giving material gifts, it's going to be a really like spiritual holiday session where you are giving yourself the fullest upgrade for the new year. I think that's like the ultimate New Year resolution. And this time you'll be able to really make your resolution come true beyond the 2nd of January, which is most of the case for most of us. Like when we make resolutions,
I know all about that, having been in the gym industry for a long time, the New Year's resolutions that don't make it past February.
So just be in touch. And then of course, if you are joining because it has a more personalized nature, we'll get in touch and we'll have a quick chat with each other to see what your specific intentions are. And also, if you are looking at this and you have any doubts about yourself and whether it's for you or anything, just don't hesitate to reach out, because sometimes our egos, our own mind is like stopping ourselves for the biggest transformation. And I have felt in the past that the greatest transformation comes with the greatest fear, but also excitement. So choose that, trust that, follow that, and don't hesitate to reach out. And also check out, please. Chris, you wanted to wrap up, tell a little bit more about Wanderlust Utopia, or just what you're trying to create in the physical space we'll be having our beautiful journey together.
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably naturally what connected us, was the idea that we both value an idea of a life of more wholeness, more fulfillment beyond the material realm of humanity right now. And Wanderlust Utopia is very much the embodiment of that. I left a very materialistic, very fast-paced life in North America to come live on an isolated island in the middle of Nicaragua in a lake full of jungle, and create a space where retreat groups can come to escape from the hustle and bustle, escape from the busyness and the competition, and just come and be and come and experience the silence that we all naturally possess within, and be able to reconnect to parts of themselves that we've all lost contact with in battling the 40-hour work week and all the other commitments that we have. Wanderlust Utopia is very much a place to be able to reconnect and to be able to reconsider our values too. One of the greatest things that I'm proud of for Wanderlust is sticking true to my values and creating a facility that has used as many renewable resources as possible, has constructed everything consciously to last long, but also to not be overtaxing in my footprint. As well as hold ideals strong, like having a completely chemical-free facility. Everything from the pool to the cleaning products that we use to the shampoos that we give out to everybody are completely chemical-free. So it's an expression of what I see and what I want for humanity moving forward, and it's my gift in essence, to have a micro version of what I hope to see in the macro.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you too.
Amazing. Yes. Thank you so much. And yeah, we hope that we hear from you, and we hope that even if you're not coming, that you still had some like sparks, some interest to just cultivate consciousness into your life. So wherever you're going on your journey, make sure it's yours and that it feels right for you, whatever you're doing and contributing in this world. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for
Okay. Thank you, Anne. This is great.